I gotta light up my Uncle Ron's.
Hell yes, dude. Shout out to Uncle Ron. That's my boy right there.
Yeah, he's a man, bro.
We're live, baby. Episode 24. We're back. Unbelievable guest tonight. You know him from, oh, look at that. I love it. Bye Guys podcast on Gas Digital, Ian's Infinite playlist on Sirius XM, and pretty much every single big podcast and radio show out there. It's Ian Fidance. What's happening, brother?
Up. Hey, man. Thank you for having me. I'm digging the mustache.
I'm always digging yours, dude. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it. You're a fucking busy dude. I asked you to come on, and then today I'm scrolling through Twitter throughout the day. It's like Jim and Sam. Then you recorded Bye Guys. Then you were doing Twitch. I was like, holy shit, dude. This guy's a hustler. Then you're doing my show. Then you're doing something else right after this.
I know. I got to go run into a stand-up spot in Williamsburg, and then it starts all over again tomorrow at 11 a.m. It's awesome. It's great. I'm really lucky. Everything fell to shit, in the middle of March last year, and it took a while to course correct, but I'm very happy, and I have a lot going on, and I'm busy, and above all else, the biggest gift of this whole pandemic is my ska band has gotten back together. So I just, dreams do come true, kids.
The silver linings in the pandemic for sure.
Yeah.
The ska band gets back together.
I know. Every night I pray to China. I say, thank you, China. Thank you for this gift.
What is it? The Pennies? What's the name of the band?
Sock full of pennies, PNNYZ.
Sock full of pennies.
Yes.
So when did you guys break up?
2003. So we were together from like 99. They were together from like 98 to 2003. I joined in 99 when I was 14. And we put out 2 albums, 1 EP. We, played out all the time. And I almost didn't go to college. We were going to sign to a label, and they wanted us to like tour for 2 years, whatever. And I like had to live with my grandparents. I wasn't talking to my mom at the time. We like argued so much over this,
Yeah.
I ended up going to school. I was a freshman. They were seniors in high school when I joined the band. And they were like starting to live their lives, and we're like, I got this full-time job with my major. I think I might just do that. It was a fun thing while it lasted. And my whole thing was like, I wanted to go. And then some of the other guys in the band were like, well, maybe we should just go to school. I think that's why I love being a comic so much. Cause it's like, that's the closest I can get to being, like as a touring musician,
like a rock star, basically.
Yeah.
Some kind of like
comics want to be musicians. All musicians want to be comics,
I think I've actually heard that before. Is that a saying?
I think it is. I mean, at the end of the night, we're all just trying to get our dick sucked by some groupies, So I mean,
yeah, dude.
One way or the other,
Dude, I didn't know that your ska band was like that serious. I thought it was just like I didn't know that you guys like made albums and almost got signed and shit. I thought it was just kind of like a late teens, early 20s like hobby or something. Like, me and my buddies had a band.
It was wild, man. It was great. It like took off, and it was like a really important, fun part of my life. And then it's just like an old like veteran, like I never picked up the guitar again. I was like,
yeah, laid down your samurai sword.
Yeah. I
never to kill again.
On my knees, put it down, put a bed on, and walked off into the night. But yeah, I went home last weekend and went to a studio outside of Philly and recorded a track and played with some of the guys again. We're all over the world, so like one guy's in London, another's in Canada, 3 are in California, and me and 2 other guys are on the East Coast. So it's like we're doing everything remotely, but we're all doing like rough tracks, putting together, listening, arranging. And then I went in the studio, and I got to go back in 2 weeks to lay down guitar. But it's like wild to be writing and like making music again. I feel fucking awesome.
That's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, it's great.
And you guys are gonna try and like release an album or something, obviously?
We're gonna put out tracks incrementally, and then like we've been talking about doing like a reunion show on the East Coast when when everyone's like vaccinated and healthy. So that's probably not for a while, And like I played, so it was me, the drummer and bassist that met up, and I jammed with them, like for a couple hours Sunday, and that felt like great. But we haven't that was the first time I played with those guys since I was 18. We all haven't played together since 2003.
18 years ago.
Yeah, I forget.
Holy shit!
Like I got to relearn our music. You know what I mean? Like
what do you play? What's
rhythm guitar?
Nice.
Yeah.
Any singing?
Yeah. Well, on like a hardcore track we had, I did like scream vocals, and now I'm like, it's kind of cool. They're letting me write lyrics and like do arrangements, and the guys in the band are so talented that I'll be like, okay, all right, this part here, I want to take that out. Can you do like a na 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 na? And they're like, yeah. And then they do it. And it's fucking awesome, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, it's a lot of different collaborations. And so I'm doing a lot of like the arrangements and playing guitar and the tracks and then writing like lyrics. And on this song that we're working on, me, the drummer and bassist, I sing. It's more like screaming. But it's really fun, man. I feel like it's wild.
Is that what ska is? I like have no idea what it is. I've heard you talk about it since I've heard you on like podcasts years ago. Like I've always heard you say ska. I don't even know what it is. What, like, could you describe it?
Bonnie queefs in your face while you play trumpet. Like that's what ska is. It's a very good feeling. A lot of horns, a lot of upbeats on the guitar. So it's like a lot of like tick 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 tick, like kind of that. It's like a very positive, fun, upbeat music.
Yeah.
There's like ska core, which is like kind of hardcore and like heavy with like horns and stuff. And I don't know. It's real. I mean, you've heard ska before. You just don't know. Like you've heard.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Mighty Mighty Boss Tones and.
Oh, okay. So that's what ska is. All right, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. I do know.
There it is.
Because I never knew what I heard the genre and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like I know it's some brand of rock, some genre.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a marching band got mad at their parents, you know.
So it's like, dude, ska core. So like French horns, is that what you're talking about? Shit like
that.
that.
There are some bands with French horns, but you know, not many bands. Yeah, a lot of tubas. I don't know if any ska bands have tubas. We have a trumpet player, trombone player, and a sax player.
I was wondering why you had like a Slipknot fucking level of people in your band. You're like, yeah, it was like he's in Canada, 4 of us are here. I was like, fucking people are in this thing.
We have 10 drummers. We all wear masks.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking sick though. So I had no idea that you were like it was a serious thing. That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, it's wild, man. And I mean, it's like such a goofy thing. Like I was in a ska band. Like it's a silly.
That's what I thought it was. Like as a teenager or something.
But it's like wild because like we release our music and I've gotten like so much good feedback that people are like, oh, I thought this was going to be a joke. It's like legitimately good. I'm like, yeah, it was pretty fun, you know?
Yeah. So you guys, is it on Spotify and shit or like, could I?
iTunes. We have a website, sockfulofpennies.com with like a bunch of pictures. And I went to my mom's. Dude, God bless my mom, man. She worked the door at like most of our shows and videotaped us and everything. And like, you know, she was like our ride or die, you know, and she's such a hardcore bitch, man. She would like break up fights and everything. And there was like a fight once and this guy came up and he was like, some lady pulled me off this guy. And they're like, who? And he pointed at her, like, that's Ian's mom, dude. Fuck you. And like, it was like, you don't do that, you should, you know. And my mom was this badass bitch, man. And she taped all our shows. So I went and found all the tapes and got like 9 of them digitized. So one of the guys in the band is a trailer editor for film. So like he's edited a bunch of Hollywood like movie trailers. So he's going to cut together like a trailer for like our music as like a teaser for when you release new music. You know, one of the guys became a New York Times best-selling author. Like it's fucking crazy, you know, in publishing.
It's like a movie of guys who go off and have their careers and then come back together to reform the old band and then they make it big. I
know. Well, it's wild. I like when I toured the West Coast, I stayed at like one of their places for a couple of days and it was like so sweet. We played baseball with his son and we were like telling each other knock jokes in the car. And then at a gig that night, he gave me a couple of his jokes and I like told them to everyone in the crowd and it was like really cute and fun. No one liked them, but you know, it was.
Did you tell him it was from a kid?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
I wanted off as my own. I'm like,
yeah, I'm trying some new material, dude.
You know.
Yeah, dude. Fucking yeah, that's great, man. So good for you guys. So check out the Sock Full of Pennies with a Z, like offensive.
I know. Yes, there it is. Yep.
So, dude, how did Bye Guys has been fucking crushing it, taking off, starting big. You guys are a few episodes in. How did you and Zach get started with it? I had no idea Zach was a bisexual.
Yeah. He and I've been doing Real Ass Podcast since like 2016 or 2017. And, you know, I have a great rapport with him and Lewis. And so, you know, when Lewis would be out of town, they would be like, hey, can you come and co-host Real Ass Podcast? I'd be like, all right. So it was me and Zach and we did it for a while. And then we joked that the show was Bye Guys because we're both bi. And then it became a thing that it was like a Bye Guy takeover. And like the first time I hosted it without Lewis, I got everyone my own t-shirts and we all wore it in studio. And we're like, fuck you, Lewis. Yeah. And so it just became kind of like this thing that we do every couple months. And then we talked and we're like, we should do this. Like, we're getting good at this. It's very fun. Let's just do this all the time. So we pitched it and they were like into it off the bat. And so now it's a show every week. And it's picking up. It's great. I love that people love it. It's very fun. It's silly. And it's you don't have to be bi to be like, you'll ask someone like, I'm not bi, can I be on the show? I'm like, yeah, it's not like a fucking theme show. It's like
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's people love it, man. And it's like you're kind of known as like you said, like 2016 is probably like when I first heard you on like Compound and shit, like Burning Bridges, Kumia. Like, dude, still one of the funniest things I've ever seen was I can't remember his name. Do you remember when you were on Kumia and there was that little like midget child actor, Mason something, and his like dumb whore girlfriend?
He was like that guy from the fucking like a ham commercial.
It's some shit like that.
Yeah, he had some like cam girl girlfriend. She was just like abusing him, and I was having like a bad day, and I just like lost it on her.
Yeah, dude. You went fucking. Do you remember what you were arguing with her about?
No, I was just making offhanded comments about how like she was just using him in front of us and everything, and like,
oh, completely.
Seriously. And then like it just like the energy in the room was just everyone was like dying and it was great. But then like her dog was there and the dog started attacking me.
Yes.
Say something like, oh wow, do you really blow people? Cool. And the dog would be like,
yeah, that's why it was the funniest thing is because so they're sitting at the it's like the studio desk or whatever at Compound, and they're on a panel of three of them. It's Ian, the girl, and Mace or whatever, and it's got this little, what was it, like a Pomeranian?
Yeah,
the Pomeranian is on the desk with them at like head level, and Ian's like just talking shit to this girl the whole time about being this gold digger. And I mean, this guy looks like Arnie Grape fucked the Oompa Loompa. Like this guy he is a specimen, dude. He's rough to look at, dude.
Poor guy. He's this little like,
I feel bad.
Carter wheelchair, motorized scooter, and this girl who's kind of dumpy but hot enough, I guess, is like
21.
Love each other, and like, love that he has residual checks.
Yeah, how is he still getting those ham residual checks that are worth that much? First off,
can you imagine living off ham residual checks for your whole life?
If it's good money, I wouldn't mind it, dude. Depends how much he's getting paid. Seems like he's got decent money.
I know. Well, he was like a child star, I guess, and then like it was just so sad that she was like. Basically, like, I don't like when we go out, I don't pay and I make him and blah, blah. And he would talk and she'd be like, can you just shut up for a second? I was like, this is so wrong.
No, you did the right thing. Like watching that is like, this is fucking painful. Like, yeah, the guy's funny to laugh at, but it's sad.
Yeah.
This like young cam girl is clearly taking advantage of this guy.
Yeah, totally. And then they started something with me like online about it. I just ignored it. I was like, this isn't worth getting into. Like, I'm not trying to, it was like a one-time thing. I wasn't trying to encourage people to be like, yeah, you whore. I was like, no, she was like insufferable in studio. And then it was out of my mind. Like something came out in the New York Post or whatever. And she and him tagged me as being like an antagonizer. And I just like, let it go. I was like, I don't get involved in this. Yeah.
Really? No shit.
Yeah. I mean, they're like star fuckers. They try to like drum up like, because the more people read this and get eyes on it, the more people are going to sign up for like her cam girl page or whatever.
OnlyFans or whatever. Yeah.
I was like, fuck, I'm not getting involved in that.
That's crazy. But yeah, Ian was fucking chirping at this girl, just like talking shit and joking with her. And anytime he'd say something to him, this little Pomeranian would be like, and attack him, dude. It's so fucking funny.
The first time I got so spooked, I think somebody screenshotted me being like,
I'm sure they did.
It's like zinger. And everyone's like laughing, and then I'm just like so in abject terror of like getting bit by this fucking rabid Pomeranian.
Yeah, dude, that was. So I remember people putting up clips of that. You can look it up. It's Kumi's show. Fucking, Ian gets attacked by a dog or whatever. It's Mason something is that guy's name. Do you remember it?
Mason Watson? I don't know.
No, Mason something. Just she go like Mason Child Star redhead. He's like this little midget redhead guy, but so fucking funny. Dude. What is it? Reese?
Reese. That's the guy.
That's it. Mason Reese. That's his fucking name, dude. So funny.
Yes. The size of a Reese's Pieces cup. Little Mason Reese, baby.
So you guys do the Bi Guy podcast. I had no idea Zach was bi. Does he have a chick? Does he have a boyfriend? What's his deal?
Yeah, he's married. He said he kind of got into the bi world by being like a goth teenager and being like, if I make out with my friend, will you guys fuck us? And the girls would be like, we're gross. Okay.
I know the way you describe that. I know exactly what he's talking about.
Totally.
Like that group of guys.
Friends.
What's that?
You know, people like that were like, well, if I like give my buddy a hand job, will you blow me? Like that kind of thing.
So I've actually been proposed that by girls a lot. They'll be like, if you two guys make out, never like, will you guys blow each other? Like, if you guys make out, we'll fucking, do something or whatever. So I've had that proposed a lot by chicks. But I'm just saying, as far as that group of goth kids, that the chicks are terrible, the guys are terrible. And it's like, if you guys are gay, we'll fuck both of you.
Yeah.
I can picture that so easily. And then as long as I've known you, you've obviously been like, oh yeah, I fuck trannies, I fuck guys sometimes. When did you come out as gay or bi or whatever, dude? Early or later?
When I was 32. That's what's up.
Way later.
Mac was like, yeah, I'll make out with a guy at a party and then, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I will make out with a guy privately and in shame and secret.
Yeah. So it just progressed.
Yeah. No, it probably, I was 32 when I started telling people about it.
When was it way earlier? You knew? Do you know as like a kid or like 20s?
Oh yeah, I didn't know that I was bisexual. I thought I was like gay. I thought that I was like, I was like the whole thing. Like, am I gay? I've been with a guy. That means I'm gay, and that's like not what it is at all. Like, even the thing about being bi is like, I don't even think I subscribe to being fully bisexual because that entails like I can't be intimate with men. It's just this weird thing where it's not even weird. It's just a thing about me that I can have sex with men, but I'm not like attracted to them. Like I'm never like, that guy's hot, I want to get to know him, like I'll just fuck a guy and then go back to like loving women. I'm just like a really sexually active and addictive person, Dude, and in talking about it, I get so many messages and guys after shows, they're like, dude, I thought I was fucking gay my whole life because I hooked up with like a couple guys and I just experimented, but I'm not. And I'm like, yeah, but the term bisexual makes people think, like, people get weirded out by it. I feel like if you're like non-binary trans, people are like, you go girl, and then when you're like, I'm bi, people are like, you can't be that. It's a choice.
Yeah.
Dude, homo, you're gay.
Like, you can either pick one or everything. You could be like pansexual and be like whatever, but yeah, that is true. There's like a stigma between being bi. So you still you have a very like Roman soldier approach to sex. I like it.
Yeah,
like, I'm very affectionate with my wife, but like when I'm at war, dude, I'm totally gonna butt fuck my boys.
Totally.
We're not snuggling after, or like we're not going on dates and shit.
I've tried to do it, and it like it's like and there's always something about Mary when Ben Stiller's in prison and he's laying in bed and the guy drapes his arm over him. And oh God, that's like whenever I've tried to lay with a man, I'm like, I don't belong here.
Yeah.
Rough guy with nail polish. I'm like, no, thank you.
So, okay. So you're, so I thought you were more like split down the middle then. So it's more women then.
Yeah. I date women. I'm romantically involved with women. And then just physically, I've acted out with men. I dated trans women, but that's a whole can of worms. And I am just more, I seek intimacy with women, but also I am bipolar, and a symptom of bipolar is acting out in dangerous ways, or like acting out in sexually dangerous scenarios and everything. And one of that is I would act out sexually with men or prostitutes as a, like when I was going through like an episode or something, you know what I mean?
A dangerous thing.
Yes. And a lot of my like hookups in that world were like in public, or like, in the back of a place, or like in between, like on the street or in a pod. Like it always had this danger element.
Very scandalous, impromptu fucking. Yeah.
Also, I feel like, because I had a secret thing with a guy for like 11 years. It was only sexual, non-intimate. We would fight each other in public. It was very much like a, Catholic school, Brokeback Mountain. And there was like no love lost there at all. And I wonder if that plays into it. And that made me feel like you're this one thing, you're gay, you're a liar, shame. It's like, no, I just, it's so like, you can roll your eyes all you want, but I really do feel like sexuality is a spectrum. We're all on it. And just because you have thoughts and fantasies and feelings doesn't define you by a certain thing. And I know guys that are fucking straight as an arrow, and they're like, yeah, I look at gay porn. It's like, all right, well, that doesn't make you gay. Like, it just, I hate that there's a million different fucking genders, but sexuality is a binary where people are like, well, if you do this one thing, that's what you are. And it's weird because that's not the way it is with women, not with women at all. They just had a study come out that said like, the largest representation in the LGBT community is bisexuality. But for men, it's an incredibly small percentage, and bisexual women is like through the roof. And it's all straight women, not straight women, but women in opposite sex gendered relationships that identify as bisexual.
Yeah, because like 80% of chicks are like, yeah, but like I'd make out with the chick, or like, you know, I'd fool around with a girl or whatever. It's way more commonplace and acceptable to be gay as a chick, you know, bisexual, whatever, you know, fuck around with girls than it is the other way for sure.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, no girl is gonna like. Also, women are incredibly beautiful creatures. They're
for sure, dude.
The hottest, greatest things walking the fucking planet. I don't walk and like check out guys. I can be like, oh yeah, that guy's hot, whatever. But I don't. My eyes don't cartoonishly fall out of my head for men the way it does with women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop and stare at a poster of like Ronaldo on the street. I'm gonna fucking almost jerk off in public if I see a thing for Rihanna. You know, like
I get okay.
And so like women are so beautiful. So the idea of them hooking up together, it's like, yeah, do it. And then it's like, if you and I hooked up on this podcast, your viewership would just go through the toilet. You know, everyone like, stop Stig, these two fucking bags. Like,
yeah.
It fucking matters, you know?
Yeah. And like, and even with the tease, dude, same thing. That's just the dude trying to be a woman. Like you said, you're attracted to women.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, there's also like different, like so many different shades, you know, like there's like femboys and transvestites and cross dressers and like, you know, just because
it's definitely a spectrum of how good the trannies are looking for sure.
Well, you know, I don't say that word. You can say what you want, but you
just said fag. I can't say tranny.
Well, you know, I mean, you can say whatever you want. I'm just choosing not to. I'm not going to say that.
I got you.
They're a very angry group. You know,
they're an ornery bunch.
They're an ornery bunch. They're sticklers. You know, but also I am half one of those things, so I feel like I can.
Oh, that's right. You do. You have like the N-word pass for gay guys. That is true. I forgot for bi guys.
I mean, look, how bad do you want it? You know, go out there and make a man of someone.
That's true. That's an easy N-word pass to get.
There it is.
Yeah, for it.
Just have a couple more of them Studweisers. Go out and be some.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah, the closest thing I've done, and I'll ask you this because you're kind of a what I would say an expert on the topic of like sexuality and shit like that. The closest thing that I've done to gay is double team a chick with another dude. No DP, no crossing swords, no fooling around, just pig roasting, one on one end, one on the other, and then rotate. Now, would you consider that gay in any ways? Some people tell me yes. Some people say no.
No, why would that be gay? Unless you're
that's my exact
the guy.
My exact thought. Thank you.
That's like everyone talks about like internalized homophobia. There's a lot of internalized We were talking on the podcast today about playing the game Smear the Queer. If that's not like like gay people bad, it's like and it's like, oh man, it makes sense why I always wanted the football. But it's like, that's not gay at all. You're having sex with a woman, you know? If you were like wanting it to be a man, then I'd say like, look at that. But it's like, how is that gay? You're just in the same room with a guy?
Exactly.
Okay, like changing in a locker room with a guy is gay, you know?
Yeah. Like how afraid of your own sexuality are you? That it's like, you can't, it's not like me and we wouldn't even make eye contact. I'm not looking at his dick. I'm literally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a very technical operation.
And you're like, dude, man, you're one of my best friends. You know that?
Yeah, no, it's just like this some whore, and it's like we'd all be drunk, and it'd be like, hey, can my buddy come? And it'd be, I'd do him a solid, he'd do me a solid, There's like 4 guys living in a house, me and 3 of my best friends, so we'd hook each other up sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's American.
And some people are like, yeah, you're gay for that, dude. You had sex. They say you had sex with a man. I'm like, well, I had sex with a man, but I didn't have sex with a man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, we were there at the same time, but we did nothing at all. But I don't know. Yeah. So thank you for being level-headed on that. Some people are insane.
I know, dude, there's a lot of insane people out there on both sides. I feel like I'm very level-headed and kind of logical about a lot of things, but it's very much people this viewpoint that you do. It's so funny because I feel like a lot of people that are like, we should be forgiven for what we say or blah, blah, blah. Like they're the same people that are like, hey, if you do one gay thing, you're gay forever. But
suck one dick, you're a fag for life.
yeah. And it's
My
like,
dad used to say.
is that shut up?
I
Really?
swear to God, yeah.
Holy shit. It turns out he was just like reliving trauma.
Yeah, he usually, it was an inner monologue. He's just talking to himself.
Talking to himself, no one else.
Yep. Shout out, Dad.
Yeah, I love you, Mr. Fens.
But Fens Senior, dude. I'm Fens the second, and then I got Fens the third, dude. The young king.
Great. Little Fensy you got going on. Fensy
Yep. Yep. I wonder what people always say. You know what's funny, dude, is like you have a kid or like your wife gets pregnant. All your buddies, first of all, before you know the gender, they're all like, it's going to be a girl. They all fuck with you. They're all like, there's no way it's going to be a boy.
Yeah, it's a death sentence. It's going to be a girl.
Going to be a girl. So then it's a boy. Then immediately they change that to he's going to be gay, dude. You're going to have a gay son. It's so fucked how people fuck with you like that.
I know. Your son's going to be gay. You deserve it.
Your son's going to be, you know how many times I've heard your son's going to be trans? That's like a new one. That's like a modern day one. Yeah.
That's like, it's constantly evolving, you know?
Yeah, man. People just constantly wish ill on your children for no reason, dude.
The worst part about your kid being trans is you got to buy him 2 birthday gifts, you know? For their birthday.
And his birthday's close to Christmas. So he's getting fucked in the deal.
I know, man.
He's getting the same set of 2 presents.
Dude, they just changed Mr. Potato Head is now non-gendered.
Dude, I saw that. It's just called Potato Head now.
Yeah. And it's so funny in talking about it. They're like, well, it is just a potato. It's like, yeah, at the end of the day, who gives a fuck?
It's like, no shit. But like, didn't they have Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head? Like, who fucking cares?
Mix
and match them. The kids did it anyway.
Yeah, now they call it Potato Head, and you can turn the Potato Head into a Mr. or Mrs. or whatever you want, you know?
It's so fucking gay, dude. You could have done it. Yeah. We did it as a kid. You could make Mrs., Mr., and vice versa.
I know, and it's like giggly and fun, and then now it's like telling you, like, no, this is specifically what it is. It's like you can be whatever you want, and we're gonna insert it in you in such a young age, you know.
Actually, you know what, dude? It's what kid is playing with a potato head in this day and age? Don't they have way cooler toys now?
Well, I feel like it's a toddler thing, and then pumping that into a toddler's head at an early age is like, or like having like your boy forcing them to not play with fire trucks because that's like a gender toy. Dude, when I was little, I had a crush on a girl and I went to her house and she played with Barbies. So I got Barbies so I could play with them to like talk to her about Barbies, you know, like a Barbie phase. And my parents weren't like, no, you little homo, G.I. Joe's only. They're like, all right, you want a Barbie, whatever makes you happy, go ahead.
Yeah.
I like grew out of it. But if I played with I feel like if a child boy played with a Barbie now, the parents would be like, look, they're trans. It's like, no,
he'd be getting hormones in a week, dude.
Yeah. Dude, when I was in like preschool and shit, I would only respond to like Peter Venkman, Egon Spengler, and my parents had to go to the school and be like, listen, he's Egon this week. He won't respond to Ian. Just go with it. He's not listening. And the teacher would be like, okay. And then they call my parents and be like, look, like this is enough. We have to call him Ian. And if my parents like pushed it to this day, I'd be like, I'm a Ghostbuster, you know?
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So what was it? Egan and what was the other one?
Egon Spengler from the Ghostbusters and Peter Venkman.
Oh, and Peter Venkman. So one day you'd be Peter and one day you'd be Egan.
And then one day I'd be Donatello and I'd make my mom tape my fingers together so it looked like I had like turtle paws, you know?
They let this go on at the school. They played along with it.
I mean, not for long. My parents are like, look, like we have no control over this thing. He's a monster. Can you guys just satiate his delusion? You know?
Holy shit, that's so fucking. Were the other kids fucking with you for pretending to be a Ninja Turtle, like to that extent?
I don't know. I really don't have like clear memories. I just remember.
How old we talking?
Like biting a kid. Were you a biter as a kid?
No.
He was one of the biters.
Those kids were bad news, bro.
Biters. I know. I was one of the biters, man.
My son just turned 1, and he's teething so bad. He only has 8 teeth right now, and he just bites me randomly. It fucking sucks, dude, because he's got 8 little vampire teeth.
Yeah, like little puppy fangs.
Exactly, like little puppy fangs. But when you get to like preschool or first grade, and there's still kids biting you, you got to watch out for them.
I know, a lot of issues. Yeah, thankfully I grew out of my biting phase, and then I just always wanted to have some sort of flesh in my mouth, and that kind of played out later in life,
So I was going to ask you because I was very curious. I was going to say, gun to your head, you taking pussy or dick if you had to take one for the rest of your life, but it sounds like pussy easily.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I thought you were more right down the middle. You're way more.
It's like when you're in a diet.
You're like a straight guy who fucks dudes and trannies a few times, you know.
And then you want to have a cheat day. You want to be bad, you know?
Okay.
Well, have a burger. I'm going to go out to the
I'd say you're more Q plus, bro, than bi curious.
Plus.
I don't know. It was just Matt and Shane's. They used to call Matt Q plus because he jerked off the tranny porn. He never did anything with trannies or women, but he had a tranny porn phase, so they called him Q plus. It's like, you know, you're not gay, you're not straight, you're not bi, you're something else. You know, you're just a little something. You're not fully straight.
Yes, I mean, like the word queer, I guess, would be applicable, but I feel like that has such a weird connotation to it.
Yeah, queer is a very negative. It's right up there with fag. Like that's
like it just has this I'm going to like change your pronouns around in a conversation or something. Like it just has like this like bickering like vibe to it, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess at its base, I am queer. I don't know. I feel like I'm just me. I do what I want when I want, and I don't let anything bother me anymore about it. I don't feel shame.
Yeah.
That part of my life is kind of past me. I'm not going out and like looking for things like that anymore. But the fantasy is still there very much. But I don't like go out and actually physically make that fantasy come true, you know? And I feel like finding that freedom and being honest about it has really helped me out a lot. And there's a lot less like shame and everything about it. But
yeah, I bet
there is a thing of like, you know, people really do. It's very common, especially for like little boys to fall around with other little boys and then make them think like, I'm secretly gay. I'm wrong. Oh my God, I'm gay. I'm a fraud. I'm a fraud. And then that like fucks with you your whole life, you know?
Yeah, I bet.
Toxic masculinity of guys being like, this chick didn't hook up with me. She's a fucking bitch, bro. It's just them masking the fact that they jerked off with their friend Steve when they were like 10.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so many guys carry the guilt of like, dude, am I gay? Just because they jerked off together because they found a fucking DVD in their stepdad's drawer and they jerked off at 10 together. It's like, dude, no, you're just
carry that shit with them their whole life.
For sure, man.
It is important to encourage people to like be yourself and like accepting, but like, you know, it's like weird. It's this weird thing where we're at, where if like, I feel like if a kid was found out to have jerked off to gay porn, people would be like, you're LGBT, you're gay. Yes, be gay. And it's like, no, that's just like a phase or something.
No, maybe I just did a little too much coke one night and this is the only way I could come, dude. I mean, chill out.
It's a boy that's playing with girl toys. It's very much, you were trans, you were a girl, be a girl. And it's like, well, that's unhealthy too.
Yes.
Like, kids and young adults, even teenagers, our brain doesn't fully develop until 25, 26. And it's like, we're still exploring. We're still figuring things out. We're still trying to find an identity, and to label it a lifelong truth, I think is detrimental to our growth as humans. And I think you back yourself into a corner where you feel identified as this certain thing. And if you break that identity, well, who am I? Have I been this person this whole time? What am I? Who am I? And we're all tribal. We're all looking for our little like niche, our group. So if you can be part of that group, you'll mold yourself to like be accepted by whatever group you're then hanging in, you know?
Yeah, that's tough. Like exactly what you said. People are trying to be a part of something. They want to be a part of a group or a clique or whatever. And it's sad to see it where people will be like, "Oh, this is the cool thing to be now, where I can be a part of this, this trans group or this gay group or whatever." And they do it, and they're not all the way in on it. You know what I mean? Sometimes they'll even cut their own dicks off, dude, and then they realize later, like, "Oh, I fucked up."
Well, there are about detransitioning, and the rate is pretty high, but those studies get shut down because they're deemed transphobic. And, you know, I think ultimately life is pain, life is hell, life is unfair, and it sucks. Yeah. And for centuries and millennium and for so long, we had to trudge dig through this hole called life on our own and find our own things. And now with the internet, it's so much easier to find your camp. And it's so much easier to find your little niche in your little area. So people build up these enclaves online and then make themselves that. And then when they go into the real world, they seek that out too. And it's just kind of like, yeah, you do find a community, but in a way it's almost like alienating even more because there's so many different like offshoots. Does that make sense?
No, 100%, dude. I've talked about this a bunch of times where exactly what you're saying is you keep putting yourself in a smaller and smaller box where you start off as like, okay, I'm a dude. And then it's like, I'm a white dude. I'm a gay white dude, or you know what I mean? And like, you keep dividing yourself into these smaller and smaller and smaller camps. You keep dividing yourself like more and more and more.
Right.
To like, I'm a anarchist, neo-capital, trans, fucking da 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 da. And it's just like, you're just narrowing yourself down. It's like, dude, you're just you. You don't have to narrow yourself down
Got it, man. You're just you.
into this fucking corner.
I don't know if I'm bi. I mean, by definition, I guess. I don't know if I'm queer. I definitely think if you suck dick, you're not 100% straight, but that's okay. You can be straight leaning, That's just me. I enjoy the life I live. I enjoy doing what I do when I do it. And I'm not going to let anyone put me. And it's funny because my straight friends would be like, dude, you've never dated a guy. You're fake gay. And I'm like, well, I never said I was gay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true.
And then like gay people will be like, oh, honey, you're just gay. You don't know it yet. And I'm like, well, that's not welcoming. That doesn't feel good.
And they're very predatory, those gay guys. They're probably just trying to fuck you. I've been approached many a time, dude. They're aggressive. Like, I know what women suffer through when a gay guy hits on you.
I very, very much. And like I always have obviously had empathy for women and what they've gone through, but coming out as bi has kind of shot that into the next stratosphere, because I've seen even like in the gay community that I've been involved in, just how like, I mean, guys are fucking pig animals. Like when women are like, men are scum, it's like, here, sister, it's the truth. I mean, I have been grabbed, I've been accosted, I've been kissed after shows. I've been like harassed. I've had guys just like DM me like dick pics. Can I suck your dick? Like shit off the bat. And I'm like, if I'm going through this every once in a while, what the fuck are women going?
Oh yeah, dude.
At the same time, like, a ton of gay guys or like bi guys they'll do this thing where they'll compliment my comedy, be like, you were so funny. And I'll be like, oh, thanks, man. And they'll be like, would you ever hook up with me? Or like, it's always like the compliment is a foot in the door. And so many of my friends that are, female comedians, it's just so tough because they got to do this thing of like, oh, I have a fan base. Do they like me because I'm funny, what I'm putting out? Or do they like it because they think this is a backdoor into fucking me?
Yep. And
that's like such a head fuck too. Like finding the root of like, do people like me or what do they want from me? And when there's a sexual component to it, and guys are like so predatory, and it's happened to me a million fucking times. I can't imagine how many times it happens to women,
And this is a lot more since you've came out as bisexual too. Guys are a lot more just like, hey, dude.
Oh yeah. Because I talk freely and openly about it. And not that I'm like trying to convert anyone. I guess my message mostly is that it's okay. Like if you have these thoughts, like you don't have to be one thing or another, and it doesn't make you X, Y, or Z, because I guarantee I'm not the only one in this room that's had these thoughts. And my favorite thing to do is go on the road and just be myself. And, I'm like very likable and fun on stage. I make things conversational and I draw people in and they like love me. And then when I hit them with like, oh, I'm this thing, I see them pull back and I see them change their perception, go, oh no. And I go, oh, well, you don't like me now, huh? I wonder why.
Yeah.
I was your boy 5 minutes ago and now you find this. And that's my favorite thing with black rooms. They'll like fucking love.
Ooh, they must not like that.
I don't think so. But then you call it out and they're like, yeah, it's true, and that's always a fun thing to play with. Cause we're fucking human. We're tribal. We have these like, feelings and beliefs and everything. And like, you can't help it. I don't think it makes you a bad person. I think we're all a little bigoted. I think we're all a little.
For sure. It's a lot of it's instinctual. A lot of it's just the way that we were raised from a young kid, our parents, because they're an older generation.
Open to hearing other things and thinking about things in another way.
Yeah.
Care how you feel, as long as you're open to it, to like, that's why I am diametrically opposed to Kumia. And, some of the shows I go on, I don't agree with it, but I love going on them because I love a good discussion. I love back and forth. I feel like you can get more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. And I always talk to anyone because I don't think like them and I don't think like that. And maybe they'll open me up to something that I hadn't seen, and maybe I'll open them up to something that they hadn't seen. But I think when you shut people out just based on identity or the perception of who they are based off of just a ballot or some sort of thing that really is just a book cover, I think you're doing yourself and humanity a disservice,
Yeah, dude, and you're great on Kumi and all those shows where it's like you say an opposite viewpoint. It's fucking hysterical.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
But it's Ian, it's 6:45. You got to get out of here, brother. Go do your show.
Oh, this was awesome. Thank you so much, dude.
No, dude, thank you for coming on, man. Seriously.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So
the chat was popping off, and this is a really good talk, man.
I didn't even look at it. I was still in the conversation with you. They were saying some shit. I was just looking over at you the whole time. But what do you get to plug, brother?
I Animal69 on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. I Twitch all the time. It's a good old time. Animal69, IANIMAL69. The ska band, Sock Full of Pennies, baby. Check us out.
Oh, yes.
Bye, guys. Every Thursday, 11 a.m. on Gas Digital on Ian's Infinite Playlist, Sirius XM Radio, Channel 99. Every Friday at 1.